Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pallavi Naresh, and I'm a product manager at Google. I'm joined here by my colleagues, David Butcher and Johnie Lee, software engineers at Google. Now, how many of you guys were able to attend the last session where we introduced the Wallet Objects API? Great, a good number of you. Today, we're going to be talking about redefining loyalty for the mobile age using the Wallet Objects API. The Wallet Objects API is an extensible platform that lets you take anything from your real-world wallet, loyalty, offers, and more, and put it in your Google Wallet in the cloud. Now today, we're going to be focused on loyalty. Why? Because when we talk to our users and we talk to them about digitizing the real-world wallet, the thing they're most excited about are the implications for all the loyalty cards they carry around or forget to carry around. We're going to start with an overview of the problems that exist with loyalty and how we at Google can help. Now, if you're not developing for a loyalty program, stick around because we're going to give you an overview of the Wallet Objects platform and walk you through a live integration with our featured partner, Marriott Rewards. This will give you a good overview of what it takes to use the Wallet Objects API, both for loyalty as well as other use cases. So what are the problems that exist with loyalty? Well, first, we have too many cards. We can't carry them all around with us. And often, we forget them when we need them the most. On the flip side, when we want to sign up for a new program, it's hard. There are long forms to fill out by hand at the worst possible time. Picture this. You've just taken a long flight. You show up at your hotel. You're not a member of the loyalty program, but you want to get points for your stay. You also want to get to bed. This is the worst time to fill out more paperwork. And finally, it's hard to keep track of all the benefits we're accruing across all the programs we're members of. Over 16 billion points go unused in the US every year. That's a lot of money. So how can we at Google help? And how can you help if you're developing for a loyalty program? Your program in Google Wallet, a single place for consumers to track all of their loyalty cards, geo-triggered around your business so that your customers never have to forget their card at home again. Instant enrollment. Acquire new customers instantly from the phone. Also geo-triggered, so the sign-up screen is waiting for them as they walk through your doors. And deeper engagement with your existing customers and your new customers. Point updates, account updates in real time. Details on when your loyalty rewards are going to expire. So your customers never have to worry about letting those points go unused. And personalized messages delivered right on the phone. The best part about all this is that it's an easy integration into your existing loyalty systems. I hope you're as excited about the platform as we are. I'm going to give it over to David to walk you through a technical overview.
Thanks, Pallavi. Let's start with. So this platform API is in the form of a REST service, so it's resource-oriented. So I'm going to spend a little time on the two main resources, the first of which is the wallet object class. The second is the instance or the object, and we'll get to that in the subsequent slide. The idea here is that it's REST via JSON over HTTP. You see in front of us some JSON for a particular class. The wallet object class is defining the shared data for a single program, which is going to have many cards in it. The wallet object class is defining some of the shared data, like, for example, here we see the issuer name. the program name Marriott Rewards, the rewards tier. There presumably would be a class per rewards tier so that there could be a little bit different look and feel for the different tiers. And it also maps to the specific look and feel that's going to show up on the device. It's important to note that this is a polymorphic object. The class proper is in the type wallet object class loyalty class. This is a loyalty class that specifies that there's a particular schema behind this, and there would be fields that are specific to that schema. Other schemas exist. There's schemas for loyalty here, for offers mentioned in the previous session. We're going to be doing things like boarding passes and some other stuff. And there will also be a generic class that has no predefined schema that allows you to define your own. Okay. The wallet object is an instance of this class. So for each program, there will be actual cards showing up on devices or within wallets, and that corresponds to the wallet object. This is also polymorphic. You'll see here that it's using the same class type, the same type as the class, sorry. It also has specific information for this end user. For example, the number of loyalty points that have been awarded to this user. Okay, the relationship, if this wasn't completely clear, between the object and the class is that for each class there's a bunch of objects, and for each object there's a single class. This will become important later when we think about how we do updates. This is your data. You can update this data anytime you like. If you do an update to the class information, it gets broadcast to all of the instances, all of the devices that are holding an instance in that class. You can also, as we'll see later, directly update the object. So you, as the issuer, own this data. You can create it and update it as you please. There are very few rules on when you do this. You can push these updates as you like. Did I screw up? Right. Where am I? Whew. Okay. There are a few different ways of getting instances into the wallet. The save to wallet from the browser allows any site, any website to include some JavaScript to enable save to wallet. What happens here is the end user visits the site and clicks on the save to wallet button, and we arrange for that to be put onto the device or devices. This is a pretty important point, is that things get into the user's wallet, into the consumer's wallet, because they put them there. This is a very strong signal of interest here. In addition, and this is a loyalty-specific thing, most of the things that I'm talking about are pretty much general to wallet objects across the board, but there are some specific ways to get new instances of loyalty into the wallet, specifically sign up and link. Sign up is for people who are new to your program and they want to participate, and link is when they have an existing physical artifact and they want to get it into their virtual wallet. And we'll see these in detail in the demo when Johnie covers that. So of course, this is Google. When you push an update either to an instance or a class, we will reliably deliver that update at scale, even if that class may have thousands of instances associated with it, distributed geographically. We'll make sure that gets delivered. This is an important point to note, is that when we get stuff onto the phone, it's cached there, and it can be used online and offline. In addition, when we can leverage Google's geo-indexing to get really intelligent here and now surfacing. So the idea here is that you walk into, let's say, a Marriott, and we can determine that you have, in fact, a loyalty card relevant here. We can bring it up and show you that there it is, and go ahead and use it. Or we could surface that you can sign up for such a card right here and now, hence the name. And now, given that overview, I'd like to turn it over to Johnie to demonstrate some of this stuff. Thank you.
Thanks, David. So, hi, I'm Johnie Lee, and I'm here to talk to you today about merchant integration with the Wallet Objects API. If you were at the earlier session, you would have gotten a quick peek of the sign-up functionality for a Marriott Rewards program within a Google Wallet. Marriott Rewards is one of our featured partners with over 42 million loyalty members. We have been working with Marriott Rewards in building a solution that complements their existing mobile strategy. During this part of the session, I will decompose the sign-up and linking functionality of the earlier demo, and just to give you an idea of what it takes to integrate with our Wallet Objects API. Keep in mind, though, that this is a demo, and that when we launch the consumer experience, the Marriott screens may differ. The 3 parts of integration that I will focus on today is the creating of a loyalty wallet object. This is, as David mentioned earlier, the base object that represents a loyalty program. The second step is the setting up of the sign-up and linking callback service. This allows the instant sign-up and linking directly from the mobile phone. And the third and final step is the updating of the user's loyalty information from the cloud. As David mentioned earlier, the wallet object class is the base representation for a loyalty card or a number of loyalty cards. What we have here is the wallet object class that was used for the Marriott demo. In this, we indicate the issuer name and program name as Marriott and Marriott Rewards, and we specify the labels that are used for each of the fields. In this case, the rewards tiers are levels, and the account IDs are member IDs. So let's go ahead and try inserting a loyalty wallet object class. So what we have here is the same exact wallet object class that I showed earlier. This is the JSON representation of the Marriott Rewards loyalty card. In here, as I pointed out earlier, we have the issuer name and program name, as well as additional information such as the logo that will be used to render the loyalty card, and also the template that will be used for the rendering. So as David mentioned earlier, this is a REST-based service, and to insert a class, it's as easy as calling the wallet object class endpoint with this as the payload. Sorry, right there. And let's give that a try. So voila, we've inserted a brand new wallet object class in the Google Wallet Cloud. At this point, you should be able to use this wallet object class for save to wallet as well as sign up and linking. So to enable instant sign up and linking, instant sign up and linking allows your users to sign up for a brand new loyalty card for your program directly from the mobile phone, or link their existing loyalty card with your loyalty program to Google Wallet. This is all done through the phone using Google Wallet. How this works is that a request is sent from the client phone to the Google Wallet Cloud to the merchant callback service, and the merchant callback service responds with an approved or rejected state. So what we're looking at here is an example of a signed up request. The primary thing to focus on in here is the wallet user profile in the middle of the sign-up request. One of the benefits of instant sign-up is that we use the information that is in the user's wallet profile to pre-populate the forms that are used to sign up for your loyalty program. The merchant will need to pre-select a number of fields that they would like, which includes first name, last name, email, phone number, maybe zip code, out of a number of options. This is sent to the information is sent to the merchant with the user's explicit permission. So once the merchant has received the request and processed the request, the merchant is expected to send back either an approved response or a failure response. This is the example of a successful response. In this, the 3 main fields to focus on are the sign-up result, in this case is approved, the welcome message, and the wallet object. The welcome message is what is shown to the user when they've successfully signed up for the program, welcoming them to your loyalty program. The wallet object is the representation of the loyalty account within Google Wallet. In the wallet object, it contains information such as the number of loyalty points, the status, and account name. For a failure response, this is a typical failure response. We have a sign-up result, which is, in this case, was rejected, and the message indicating why it was rejected. So let's go through and take a look at an example callback service. So what we have here is a Python-based App Engine service that was used to run the the Marriott Rewards demo from earlier today. Since we cannot actually hook up to the Marriott loyalty backend, I've subbed out the system by creating this data access layer, which supported creating a new loyalty account from the user profile and looking up an existing loyalty account using the account ID. And I pre-populate the values for the account and with random number of points. The request handler here handles two types of post requests, sign up and linking. For sign up, the three steps that I go through is first I create a new loyalty account in my backend. Then I take that loyalty account and convert it to from my domain-specific loyalty account to a wallet object. As you can see in here, I do a direct mapping from the account name to the account name field in the wallet object, account ID respectively. In addition to that, I do additional customization to further brand this loyalty card for the Marriott Rewards program. Once I've done that, I add the additional welcome message and the sign-up result, as you can see here, and wrap that in the JSON RPC2 envelope. So we can actually go ahead and give this a try. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send this fake request here with the wallet user John Smith and the phone number there to a App Engine server that is run locally. So here's the request that we're sending, and the App Engine server responded correctly with the wallet object instance and response. So this is fine and all, but why don't we look at it in the real production environment on the phone? So here, focus, good. Uh-oh. Okay. So here I have the Google Wallet application that we are using for testing. And again, this is for demo purposes, and the actual consumer experience may differ. And what we do is we go in here, find the Marriott Rewards program, and it should load up the additional information about the Marriott Rewards. This was similar to the demo that you saw earlier. Then we click on Join Now, and as you can see, it pre-populates the form with the name on of the user on this phone, on this account. I agree to the terms, and I would like to get additional emails, and then I create an account. And there you go. We have our brand new loyalty card instantly inserted into our Google Wallet application. So let's take a look at the backend server that ran this instance. Right here, we have the logs for the App Engine server. And as you can see here, this is the request that was received, and this was the response that was returned back. And really, that's all there is to creating a callback service. Obviously, when you integrate this with your loyalty backend, there's additional business logics that you may use to provision a new account or link an existing account. So once once your consumers have linked their loyalty account with your loyalty program to Google Wallet, this is where the fun part really comes in. This is the part that you can really engage your consumers by updating their information regularly or sending them messages directly to their mobile phone. To update a loyalty account, as David mentioned earlier, we send this resource to the resource endpoint. This is a wallet object payload, and in here we update the number of points to 2,000 points, and you can also update any of the other fields as necessary. We then send this as a put request to the resource endpoint. Likewise, for messages, we send the message payload either to a wallet object endpoint or to a wallet object class endpoint. The difference being that a message sent to a wallet object goes to one specific user, and the message sent to a wallet object class goes to a group of users. So why don't we give this a try here? All right. One second. So last night I stayed at the Marriott Marquis like many people here, and I've earned additional 2,500 points for staying at the Marriott Marquis. So what I would like to do is then update the number of points for this loyalty account to reflect my new point status. What I've done is I've taken the wallet object that we just created. We update the version number to indicate that it's an update. And then we update the number of points to 2,500. At this point, we then find the ID that we created, and send that payload to that resources endpoint. And there you go. The number of points has updated. And then if we go back to the phone itself and hit refresh, we can see that the number of points is now 2,500. There you go, 2,500. So what I've shown you here is the ability to easily integrate with the wallet object backend. And to go back to a story that Pallavi told earlier, imagine now you walk into the lobby of a hotel. You have your Google Wallet on you. You realize that you don't have a membership with that a membership with that hotel. You find the program in your Google Wallet, sign up instantly, and by the time you check in, your loyalty account is updated to the most recent point transaction. Now that is a great user experience. I'll turn it back to Pallavi for wrap-up.
Great. Thanks, Johnie. Let's see, how do I switch this back? We hope that you'll walk away from this session with a good understanding on how to use the Wallet Objects API to acquire new customers and engage your existing customers. The best part about this is that it's a single, simple API for loyalty, offers, and more. We're already working with some great partners, including several folks who are powering some of the world's largest loyalty programs. If you're interested in signing up, visit the website listed here on this slide, and we're providing access in the coming days. We're also available outside for office hours in our sandbox. You can also check out some live integrations there to see this all in action. With that, I want to open the floor up for questions. Any questions? Feel free to come up to the mic in the middle.
Shy crowd. Here's one.
Hi, are there any plans to make that developer version of Google Wallet that you guys are using available to developers along with the APIs?
For now, we are working with partners to provide tools that allow you to preview your wallet objects. And then we are working to quickly launch the consumer experience so that you can use that in your development process.
Okay, thank you.
In the app, how much room do you have to customize how your wallet object looks? And are there plans to change things if they're not that flexible?
Great. So we actually allow several degrees of freedom in customization so that you can really showcase your brand. For specific details, you can check out the documentation on the API. But in general, it's quite flexible in terms of the layout you can choose, the colors, the logos, as well as the information that you show in your card. Great.
So the consumer of your services really seems to be aimed at businesses, creating loyalty cards that reflect what they offer in the physical world. But like we saw with Apple's Passbook, there was an opportunity for companies that wanted to support small businesses that don't have formal loyalty programs to sort of consolidate and act as a broker. Is there a similar opportunity here, or do you think that the main consumer is going to be partners who create loyalty programs for their own business?
We're actually already partnering with Bellycar that is doing exactly what you described. So you can also use the Wallet Objects API to
Represent other.
to represent
Absolutely.
others. That's
Okay.
right.
That was the question. Thanks.
More questions? Great. Well then,
see you.
with that, we'll wrap up and hope to see you guys all in our sandbox outside.
Thank you.
Thank you.